In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 principles to building a stronger, leaner, and more capable body in less time. What's up, hardstylers? This is Hector here, the Kettlebell Coach. If you're new to the channel, for over 12 and a half years, I ran one of 2 kettlebell-only training facilities here in Texas where we helped men and women over 40 build stronger, leaner, and more capable bodies in about 90 minutes per week so they could have more time to do what they enjoy and spend less time trying to be the best at exercise. If that sounds like you, number one, welcome to the channel, and be sure to click the link in the description section to download your free 4-week strength program. How can we think upstream when it comes to our strength training so that way we can improve results before the training even happens? And that's what this episode is all about. So principle number 1 is one of our philosophies in the Hardstyle Academy is less is more. So the last thing that you need to do to get in shape is more running, more sprints, more HIIT training, et cetera, because more is not better. In reality, it's just more. So the more complex your life is, I believe the simpler your training should be. So if you're trying to do the wife thing, the kids thing, the career thing, you've got a lot on your plate, the less complex your training should be, the more simple it should be. So in this sense, it's addition by subtraction kind of thing. Less is more, less moving parts. So the fewer moving parts there are, the more simple things become, and the more simple things are, the more consistent you can be with them, right? So at the end of the day, it becomes repeatable. And what these allow you to do is become the strongest, most elite version of yourself, right? Which is ultimately the man that your family is depending on. So a hard pill to swallow is, when it comes to fitness and health and fitness, is you'll never become the man that you need to be by spending more countless hours in a gym. That's just the reality. For 6+ years, I spent around 24 hours per week in the gym. Not counting, was that counting jiu-jitsu? I don't think that was even counting jiu-jitsu. That was getting my strength training in, my running. I was doing yoga. I was doing all these things, but yet I continued to not see the results I was looking for on the mat, right? So that was just a hard lesson for me to learn. So here's what I want you to consider today. I want you to consider that strength is the mother quality. This isn't me saying, this is one of the most sought out Soviet, scientists of all time, Professor Leonid Matveyev. He said that strength is the mother quality and the foundation for developing the rest of physical qualities. So strength is a skill. This is a mantra. This is a creed that we hold within the Strong First system, and skills are things that can be practiced. So we like to look at our training as not working out, but practicing those skills. And I've talked about this ad nauseum on the channel, that when we practice our skills, those skills become our default settings. So when we are faced with fatigue and resistance, we will default back to what those settings are, right? So we want to have good default settings. And when you get this right, when you understand the whole strength is the mother quality, and you begin to take on a practice in your strength training, you're going to be able to move with ease. You're going to be fresher. Really, that's what we want. We want to be able to train hard, train often, but also stay fresh, right? So you'll be able to move with more ease throughout your day. You're not going to be so sore that you can't move the next day and the several days after. You're going to be more consistent, and quite frankly, you're going to enjoy the process. You're going to enjoy that training more because you found something, worth suffering for, which I've talked about in past episodes. When you don't do this, right? When you don't follow this, strength first, strong first philosophy, things begin to break down. Your body will begin to break down over time, and you'll become more fragile. And injury is not a matter of when, or it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So what you want to do is you want to become a strength minimalist. Okay, so focus on strength and not more conditioning to accelerate your results. The stronger you are, the more work that you can do over time, right? So if you've got activities that require a lot of work, jiu-jitsu, walking, just being active, maybe it's your career, your family, those things require endurance in all areas. So if you get stronger first, you're going to build a greater container in which to build endurance and whatnot. So as I mentioned, I encourage you to approach your strength training as a practice and not as a workout. Okay, so simplicity is the mother of success, right? Practicing simple concepts with simple training tools, that's what provides maximum results. Now, as you begin to take on this strength minimalist mindset, there are going to be roadblocks that you'll come across, right? So, number one, a lack of knowledge. Like, how do I piece together the essential phases of a strength training program in the right dosage for maximum effect? Okay. Number two, the right plan of action. How do I know that I have the right plan of action for me based on my lifestyle and my stresses? Maybe I can't work out 4 days a week or 3 days a week. Maybe I need 2 days, or maybe I've got the freedom and I want to work out 5 or 6 days per week. So do we have the right plan of action, or are we following random workouts which serve no purpose other than to get you tired and minimize recovery? And the third part that you might encounter, or will likely encounter, is you overdo it. You spend too much time in the weight room because, as you get stronger, chasing numbers becomes fun, right? Because strength training, becomes very enjoyable, once you start getting good at it. And so those are some of the most common roadblocks that I've encountered myself, and we have encountered with many of our students that we've worked with for over 12 and a half, 13 plus years. This is why strength should always be your number one priority, not more conditioning. You need to build that foundation of strength. So the second principle to building a stronger and leaner, more capable body is you need to follow a proven system. So why systems? Systems is one of the things that we stand for. And systems, the reason for that is because systems are duplicatable, right? They stand the test of time, and they are a surefire way to ensure success. So if you look at some of the greatest organizations, like sports organizations of all time, they follow a proven process, a proven system, right? So regardless of how you feel about like the New England Patriots, they had a proven system that works. And so regardless of who they put into certain positions, obviously they had their cornerstone, which was Tom Brady, but a lot of their wide receivers and running backs weren't like these crazy all-stars, these Pro Bowlers, and many of them did go on to the Pro Bowl, but you get my point here. I'm in South Texas, so a big, when it comes to basketball, the San Antonio Spurs were the thing. They were the dynasty, of the early 2000s, and they had three key players. But even at that, those key players could move in and out, and they were still dominant. If you look at jiu-jitsu, same concept. You've got the alliances of the world. You've got the checkmats, the autos of the world. They have a very proven system. Okay, so within a proven system, 1 + 1 will always equal 2, right? With the right pieces in place, following a proven system consistently yields positive outcomes. And another great thing about a system is you don't have to scrap the whole system if something's not working. You can look back into the system and see what part is not working, plug it in with a new piece, and then you keep moving forward. So following a proven system is a one mind, like any weapon kind of mindset. Essentially, a proven system is not dependent on strength training tools or methodologies. Like, I could get you strong with whether it's just your body weight, a dumbbell, a kettlebell. Obviously, we're biased to kettlebells, barbells. Like, I can get you strong in any of those disciplines, because what we are going to take you through is through a proven system. We're going to be taking you through proven principles versus tactics. Right. And that's the difference between tactics and strategies, which we'll touch on here in a minute. But it's impossible, my friend, to duplicate long-term positive results without a proven system. Okay. That's just, those are the facts of the case. But when you have that system in place, essentially what that does is it removes the guesswork, right? The stress and worry from your life. So you can focus on other things that are more important. Like, your focus shouldn't be doing all the research and reading the literature, if you will, when it comes to designing a program. Like, you've got enough stress in your life. As I mentioned, you're doing the wife thing, the career thing. You're doing all these things. You're wearing all these hats already. The last thing that you need to do is try to figure everything out when it comes to your health and your fitness. But once you have a system in place, man, and you start seeing results, you're going to walk taller. You're going to have a sense of pride. You're going to become a force to be reckoned with in all areas of your life. And if you do jiu-jitsu, even more so. But the really cool thing is, eventually, as you start seeing results, you transform into that man that, number one, your wife can't keep her hands off of. And number two, your kids look up to you and say things like, my dad is stronger than your dad. My dad can beat up your dad. Like, I know we always used to compare like whose dad could do what growing up. And without a proven system, your results will be sporadic. They'll be mediocre at best. Aches and pains, become like an everyday thing. You get lazier, and what happens? You lose all motivation, right? The whole consistency. I think I talked about this on the channel a couple episodes back of, consistency, then density, and then intensity. And most of us flip flop that. We go for intensity right away, and then we push the density, trying to do as much work as we can and race the clock. And then at the end of the day, that leaves out the consistency because you begin to break down, right? Injuries become more frequent. You can't perform your best at work, and you might even have to take a step back for a promotion. If your body is your career, like if you're, I don't know, first responder, firefighter, UPS driver, like you name it, if your body is your career and you get hurt because all simply because of having a lack of systems in place, that's a big problem. So it's essential to have a step-by-step process, a system in place, so that way you can rest assured that you're going to reach your goals once and for all. You're going to reach them week in, week out, month in, month out. Possessing the right tools and the right system in place, so that way you can get in shape anytime. As I mentioned, we don't. This shouldn't be dependent upon any particular fitness discipline, kettlebell, barbell, body weight. We should be able to reach these results week in and week out, and we can do that by possessing a repeatable system. And as I mentioned, where things can go wrong, once you start following the system, what I've noticed is people begin to rely on, let's say you try to do this on your own, people begin to rely on what feels good, right? The whole concept of intuitive training, intuitive eating and whatnot. You begin to go by your feelings instead of trusting a time-tested and proven process. You follow random workouts. You do your mobility, your flexibility work in the wrong sequence, which, I don't know, maybe it'll make things worse. Who knows? But you're really not sure why you're not making progress or where the breakdowns are happening because you don't know what to track. If you're following and you're grabbing random pieces of a fitness program, like you're just downloading or you're scourging the internet and you're downloading and following all these random things, let's say you do get results. If you do get results, you're not going to know where the results are coming from, right? Because of all the randomness that's going on. So you definitely want something that's consistent, and you'll get that with the proven system. So if consistent results are important to you, then following a proven and duplicatable system is a non-negotiable. The third principle is, I touched on this, strategy. You need to have a real strategy. You need to have some sense of direction, because if you don't, in reality is if you don't know where you're going, really any route will get you there. But how long will that take? How many failures along the way will you get there? So your time is precious. As I mentioned, you don't need to be doing all the research and reading all the literature when it comes to designing a training program and building out a repeatable system. And you need to really know the time of your arrival at that destination. So a strategy is something that's measurable. It's something that you can track, gather data, and figure out, okay, here are the results that I'm seeing. What adjustments need to be made? So obviously we're looking at reps and sets and volume, rest, all that kind of goes into it. But again, these are all more nuanced strategies, right? So if you want to get in shape, if you want to build a stronger, more physically capable body so you can be active with your kids, do things that you enjoy, just having a strategic plan is a non-negotiable. Now, when you have that strategy in place, as I mentioned before, you have a concrete plan. You have an objective to be achieved in a specific time frame. Progress is now measurable, and you can look back and see what successes and what challenges that you're having, and then what adjustments can be made. You'll be more organized. You're going to have a sense of focus versus what's the other option? Winging it with your strength training, your mobility, your endurance training, and winging it just doesn't turn out well. Without a strategy, you will lack direction. You'll lack purpose. You're going to lack consistency. And as I mentioned already, without a real strategy, you can risk your own quality of life due to potential injuries. I've seen this happen over and over and over again. Self-doubt's going to creep in. Like, I don't even know if this is possible for me. Like, everything just goes south without systems and without strategy. But the good news is, if you plan it right, you won't have to spend hours in a gym to look better, feel better, right? What did Jerry Rice say? Look good, feel good, play good, right? So with a strategy in place, you'll look good, feel good, play good. Your recovery is going to skyrocket. Recovery will be at an all-time high. And guys, it's not something I'm covering today, but it's one of the most overlooked, underappreciated aspects of a strength training program is the recovery piece. Most people think, I come from a jiu-jitsu background where the guys think if you rest any longer than 30 seconds, you're a sissy. But in reality, when we're talking about strength, you need rest. You need to recover. And if you can't recover, well, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot. But with that strategy, you'll be able to get your workouts in 3 days per week, anytime, anywhere. Your personal life will be the best, best it's ever been. And you'll have more time, more energy to spend it with your wife, with your kids, or just doing something that you enjoy doing. Common roadblocks, like with all these principles, common roadblocks will be just having a plan for plan's sake, like just kind of going through the motions, right? No right intention, not having the right plan in place. I think I mentioned this with the systems. We need to make sure we need something that we can tailor to ourselves, to our lifestyle, right? Maybe I'm an ambitious guy and I like working out 5 days a week. Maybe I'm just a busy guy with all these things going on and I can only do 2, maybe 3 days a week. Like we need a strategy that is customizable. You have zero accountability, right? You have a plan, but you don't work the plan. Like how counterintuitive is that to do all the research? I'm doing my air quotes here. To do all the research, but yet not actually follow through with the plan, right? Or you're doing the plan, but then you're going to do it no matter what, the way it's written. Like your unwillingness or inability to change or pivot if things aren't, going quite right, and knowing how to make those adjustments, which you may not even know what right adjustments you need to be making. It's one of those things where like, I'm not aware of I just don't know what I don't know kind of thing. So a strategic and measurable plan coupled with a sense of purpose is crucial, man, to getting back in shape, building that leaner body. Number 4, I touched on this. This is a big one. Training for longevity. As I get deeper into my 40s, and many of the guys that we work with are in their 40s and beyond, longevity is probably one of their biggest goals. Not deadlifting 3 times body weight, which is awesome, right? Not doing 150 snatches in 5 minutes, which is awesome, right? Most of my conversations with guys that we work with nowadays are like, man, I just want to stay strong. I want to stay mobile. I want to be able to do my presses and my squats, but I also want to be able to live my life. Training for longevity is a big one, is a big goal for the guys that we work with. As I mentioned, working out is great, but it's not worth your career. It's not worth your way of life, because at the end of the day, health will always be your greatest concern. Not how hard you went in the gym, not how many snatches you did. Those are great for a period of time. Well, what's the saying? Like, it's great until it's not, kind of thing. Failing to train for longevity, it just crushes your body. It stops your progress. Last time I checked, when you're injured, you don't see the results that you were chasing. But it keeps you from becoming the strongest, the most elite version of yourself when you're just constantly getting dinged up. So training for longevity, it allows you to have less headaches, less pains in the morning. You'll be able to train more often. You'll be able to create memories with your wife and your kids into your 60s, 70s, 80s. That we're talking grandkids around that time. Recovery between workouts is going to be at an all-time high. You're going to feel stronger than you did before. That's something interesting. I was having one of our coaching calls with one of our students. He was like, man, I feel like I can do more. Like, I feel like the work that you're giving me, like, I want to do more, but I'm afraid that if I do more, that I'm going to like mess things up. And it's possible. It's very possible. That the training is working when you feel fresher, when you feel like you can go more, or when you feel like you can go heavier. That's when you know things are working. But don't go beyond the plans that's been prescribed for you. And when you fail to train for longevity, your strength, mobility, as I mentioned before, flexibility will be mediocre at best. Self-doubt creeps in. The cycles of, neck pain, back pain, the shoulder thing, the knee thing, that stuff just becomes a regular occurrence. But the benefits of longevity training really outweigh everything else. More frequent training, more quality training. Little things in life don't bother you as much anymore. You're just your headspace is in a better place. As I mentioned, recovery is at an all-time high, and you're going to be able to create long-term memories with your kids and with your family. So the only way to get back in shape and become the man that you want to be, strongest elite version of yourself, is to train for longevity. And now the fifth principle is a very interesting one, and this is something that I believe, like, wholeheartedly is Principle number 5 to building a stronger, leaner, more capable body is investing in a coach, investing in a mentor. You know, it's so interesting. If you go back, I don't even know, 50 years ago or more, if you wanted to attain something in your life, if you wanted to attain a result, you sought out someone who's already done it and you would seek mentorship for them. It was called apprenticeship. And to this day, certain trades hold that tradition, right? If you look at like plumbing and electrician, like you become you become an apprentice, and then you become a journeyman, and then eventually become like a licensed plumber, right? But it's just interesting when it comes to building a business, when it comes to health and fitness, all of a sudden, because of the advancement of technology, obviously, we think we can do these things all on our own, when in reality, it's impossible to become successful on your own. Um, when you invest in a coach, what you're really investing in is the plans and the strategy and the systems, yes, but really even more nuance, right? If we're talking thinking upstream here, what you're really investing into is you're investing in speed. That's what you're investing into, because that's the one thing we're not making more of. We're not making more time, right? Time is not something that is constantly created; it's fleeting. So when you invest in a coach, you're investing in time. You're leveraging their expertise and the what's the word I'm looking for here? The mistakes that they've made, right? You're seeking that the most effective and efficient way to get to that end result, right? So a mentor, a coach provides you with the support, the guidance that you need around inevitable obstacles, which will happen, and helping you get to where you want to be the fastest, most efficient way possible. So when you have that coach, you have someone to talk you through your fears, your struggles, your limiting beliefs, celebrate your wins and victories, someone that's going to keep you accountable to yourself. And ultimately, this mentor is someone that should be has been where you're currently at now, but has the tools, the systems, the strategies, the insights to attain that success, and they've attained that for themselves as well. Now, finding a good coach, you need to find someone that will help you navigate that path, right? Someone that offers guidance and counsel, someone that also challenges you and holds you accountable and helps you to overcome mental barriers, not someone that is a yes man. You want someone that's going to call you on your BS, if you will. But you also want to seek out a mentor that has access to a community of other like-minded individuals to multiply everybody's efforts, because we know that there is strength in numbers. But if you are insistent on going on it alone, doing the research, reading the literature, I hear all these things, when I have interactions with guys, is you're going to really spend more precious time away from your family. You're doing all the guesswork, really, of all the things that go into designing a results getting program. So I've been doing, coaching. I've been coaching combined jiu-jitsu strength training for 24 years. I've been running my own fitness business for 13 years. And so all of the investments and all of the coaching and all just being deep in the trenches and knowing what works and what doesn't work and seeing all different types, body types, that is not something that you can do, quote unquote, research on and read literature on. That's stuff that's not shown in the textbooks. And you're really going to throw away money on random programs and products which don't enhance your performance at all, because there are these cookie cutter type programs. And worse, fear sets in, uncertainty, self-doubt, like, will I ever attain this result? You'll lose belief in what's possible and becoming the strongest, most elite version of yourself. And so that's why I say not one successful man. If you look around, any successful guy worth his salt, husband, father, you name it, regardless of what market that he's in, has not become successful by doing it all by himself. So there you have it. Those are the 5 principles, right? The 5 upstream strategies, if you will, to building a stronger, leaner, more capable body. So in order to do that, you need to take a less is more approach. You need to follow a proven system. You need a real strategy. You need to train for longevity, and you need to, and I highly recommend, investing in a coach. And when you implement these, you will move stronger, more powerfully. You will move easier, like you did in your 20s, 30s, whatever that best time of your life was. You'll be able to duplicate your results week in and week out because you've got that proven system, training 3 days, 5 days a week, whatever it is that your lifestyle permits. You'll be able to do that without feeling overworked, and you'll be able to look back knowing that you live life to its fullest, and you're gonna have peace of mind knowing that you got everything in. That's a big thing. I polled our audience here on YouTube recently. Was like, what is one of your greatest concerns? And one of the I want to say it was, if it wasn't the first, it was the second highest, was how do I get everything in? How do I quote unquote balance all these things like my strength training and mobility, flexibility, endurance? Like, how do I put all this stuff together? That was a big thing for them. You'll be able to wake up in the morning without feeling broken, right? Without feeling broken, dinged up, and sadly having to tell your kids, like, I can't do this today. I can't play with you. I can't do X, Y, or Z. Like, these are stories I hear from many of the guys that we've serviced. So that's it, man. I appreciate you watching. Look, if you need help building a stronger, leaner, and more capable body in less time so you can do more of what you enjoy and spend less time trying to be the best at exercise, then I want to let you know I'm excited. Number one, I'm launching our first one-on-one coaching program. So for over 12 and a half years, we offered semi-private coaching at our gym. I've got a lot of experience working with individuals one-on-one, but we've never offered it as a full service. And that's something that we're going to be offering here as of today. What we do is our initial program, it's a 16-week coaching program, one-on-one coaching program, where I'm going to be helping men 40 plus build a stronger, leaner, and more capable body in about 1 to 2 hours per week, so they can ultimately have more time to do what it is that they enjoy doing. Now, side note, this is not an exclusive offer only for men 40 plus. If you're a lady watching this video, this is for you as well. Or if you're a man 40 plus, but you've got your own thing going on, but you would like something like this for your wife, we would love to work with them as well to help them attain that same result. Okay. So the reason, and this one-on-one program is very effective. Number one, because obviously we can customize everything and tailor it to your lifestyle. Okay. It's effective because number one, we're going to guide you through all 4 phases of the performance progression pyramid, which is how to train for strength, endurance, muscle building, maximum strength, and power training, like knowing the exact strategy on how to get through that system. Okay, we're going to build you out the custom framework so that way you can operate freely within the system. So you can train 3 days per week, 2 days per week, 5 days per week. Like, we help you completely tailor that to your lifestyle. All right, and that way you can train and do everything at your pace. I give you all these systems and the ins and outs that go along with that. And it's based on the exact system that we've been using for 12 and a half years, coaching over 1,200 plus students that have come through our gym at Hardstyle here in Corpus Christi. Now, if this is compared to, other random workouts and challenges, which serve no other purpose than to get you tired, minimize recovery, and make getting results like nearly impossible. So 10,000 kettlebell swing challenges, 1,000 push-up challenges, you see these all over the internet. Those do not get results. You might see results 3-4 weeks in, but you plateau after that, and you won't see progress. And ultimately what this does is leaves you feeling drained, defeated, overworked, and just spinning your wheels. So to finally get where you want to be, you're going to need these 3 mechanisms. So to build that stronger, leaner, more capable body, you're going to need these 3 things. And thing number 1 is the theme of what we talked about today, a less is more strength training strategy, right? So you need to understand the concepts of strength training, skill practice versus working out, professional applications of tension, understanding dominata, quantum zeno effect, mastering leverage through posture and positioning. Like, you need a strategy that guides you through those 5 principles. And that's what we're going to customize for you. So most people that I encounter are, fall victim to these long, drawn out workouts that are not repeatable and really chew through their progress. And at the end, it makes it difficult to stack those results week in and week out. So we're going to take you through what we call a TRT and RAM training system. So TRT stands for time saving, result stacking, and testosterone boosting. Yes, if you're a lady happen to be watching this, you have testosterone and you need to have a healthy levels of testosterone. So we're going to take you through the exact training protocols and systems and strategies to boost that. And if you're a guy, well, testosterone is pretty dang important hormone to have optimized. And then RAM stands for recovery accelerating mechanism. These are the recovery mechanisms, an actual step-by-step test retest system on how to improve mobility, flexibility, so that way you can train for longevity. We've worked with people of all walks of life, people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even in their 80s. And people that have come to us with chronic, back issues, knee problems, shoulder problems, and we've been able to work with them and for the most part get them out of those chronic injuries through our systems and our strategies. So the only way to gain back time, the only way to see those real results is to have a repeatable strategy, as we talked about today. The second thing you need is an eating strategy for a high performance body. So when it comes to eating, this is the biggest thing. Someone just commented on our YouTube channel the other day that the hardest thing for them is the nutrition, and I agree. Nutrition is a big part. It's the linchpin when it comes to seeing the fat loss and seeing your body like reshape. The eating is a huge part of that. But in reality, people flat out don't know how to eat for recovery, for performance, for fat loss, for health in general. Most people think that Diet Coke and Subway is a healthy option. They don't know how to pair the right eating strategy based on the type of training that they're doing. And getting that wrong will backfire the efforts that you've been putting in. So together, we will build you a complete custom eating strategy to remove the guesswork of how to eat to see those perpetual results. And the third thing that you need coaching, community, and a support system. This is the glue which holds everything together. It's the glue that, it's the accelerant, if you will, for progress. So we help you navigate that path. We give you counsel and guidance. We hold you accountable to yourself, help you overcome your mental and physical barriers, obviously. We give you access to a group of other like-minded individuals to multiply everyone's efforts. You get one-to-one coaching support and a coaching call. And you also get weekly technical reviews so that way we can review your skills and see what's working, what's not working, what adjustments you need to make so that way you continue to see results week in and week out. So essentially, our one-on-one coaching program helps men become the strongest, most elite version of themselves. And if this sounds like a result that you'd like to attain for your life, here's what you need to do next. I'm going to drop a link in the description where you can set up a one-to-one time to chat with me. Now, the whole intention of this call is to get clear on where you're at, what's working, what's not working, and what steps are required to get you to where you want to be. And if it makes sense to work together, we'll discuss the enrollment process. This call is not for someone that is just looking to pick my brain and just this isn't like an advice type call. It doesn't make sense for us to work together. And if it does, here's what this would look like. Okay. So do this right away because one-on-one coaching, there's only so many hours in a day and my spots are limited for one-to-one coaching. And I'm only opening this up this month for 10 new coaching clients this month. So if you're serious and you're ready and you're willing to invest into yourself to become the strongest, most elite version of yourself, then click the link in the description section, set up a one-to-one time to chat with us. And I look forward to seeing you on our calendar. I appreciate you watching, man. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.